Imagine this lively entertainment park where family and friends had gathered together to enjoy the many fun-filled activities Lenape Park had to offer, was once a dairy and truck farm owned and operated by the Leland family. Lorenz Leland came from Germany sometime in the mid-1860s. 2 years later, he brought his bride and childhood sweetheart, Berta, back from Germany to live in America. Around 1892, the Lelands purchased a large area with lakefront property, known as Lenape Lake, which was named after the Lenape Indians who once migrated there. Then in the early 1900s, a priest asked the Lelands if he could use their farm for a picnic outing in celebration of his new church.
And there was a priest at St. Vincent's that convinced him to make a family picnic ground out of it. I forget the father's name, but that's how it started, with the church picnics.
The Lelands agreed. Many other picnics soon followed, and that was the beginning of Lenape Park. Lenape Park became an official park and opened to the public sometime between the years 1907 and 1910. There was also a steam train which brought smiles to the children's faces, and a boat named Miss Lenape, which was used to transport visitors around the lake. The first skating rink was built on pilings over the lake, but because of the lake freezing, it became difficult to maintain. So a building was constructed on high ground, along with a dining room, which eventually was removed to make room for a larger beach and swimming area. And in 1929, the first boat races were held at Lenape Lake. Mulford Scull was declared the big winner. In 1939, the Lelands commissioned Herman Dean Sr., a German immigrant, to construct a 65-foot wooden structure lighthouse. The lighthouse was finally completed in 1943. The lighthouse would later be named the Singing Tower, because gospel music would be heard from speakers placed on top of the tower. Herman Dean's niece shares some of her childhood memories of her uncle and Lenape Park.
My mother's family lived here before that since 1902, and then we came back to Mays Landing at that around 1940. Our whole family, 3 generations actually, has worked at Lenape Park over the years. First with the Liling family, and then with the Young family. Many a time when it would be a hot summer night, there was a little building which was their laundry building downstairs, and they had a bedroom upstairs, and we would sleep overnight, and all the windows, 4 sides with open windows, and it would be much cooler before the air conditioning.
Then, in 1960, the Lelands sold Lenape Park to the Youngs, who were leasing the skating rink at the time.
I leased the skating rink in '60 and modernized it. And I had it for a few months, and the fire came, burned it to the ground. So after that, we had an option to buy the park, but now we had no park and no big snack bar that was there for years in the middle of the park. So we started to negotiate with the Liling family to take over the park. We began without a skating rink, just the park, and then no rink business, which was part of the core of the Lenape Park. And we had our land subordinated up front of 5 acres to build a skating rink. We started booking the regular picnics that they have in the past, especially big churches out of Philadelphia and everything. There was nothing to see. 60 buses out there on a Saturday, all church people from Philadelphia, and we had these big parties, and we continue with my daughters taking part in the activity of the of the park, running the boats, taking charge of the swimming and what have you.
Well, there was a period of time that when my dad first bought the park, the three girls, my two sisters and myself, we all worked in every department. And I was 14 at the time and, worked here all through college. But it wasn't until I came back in 1980 and decided that I was really going to help my dad and Mom run the park. I did a title search to see really what land did we really own? And of course that took me back to the 1860s when Jeremiah Stull wanted to create a dam for hydroelectric power for the cotton mill. And so they went about buying the drowning rights all over what is now Lake Lenape.
It took 14 years to replace the skating rink, which now stands on the corner of Park Road and opened to the public in 1975.
I've been here since 1995. We've owned and operated the rink for 12 years, and we feel as though we are a part of the community and add a great deal of service to the community in providing fun, recreational activities, as well as very, very healthy activities for the youngsters here in Hamilton Township in South Jersey.
We've always contended that Mays Landing is a roller skating town, and that roller skating happened on this property in this 20 acres somewhere since 1910.
Not only did the Youngs have to replace the skating rink, but over the past 15 years had to restructure the singing tower, replacing just about everything to keep it in excellent and safe condition.
I remodeled it a couple of times. I sided it with fiberglass siding, looked like brick. It was brick before, but it was all deteriorated. The reason why the tower was built was it was a landmark for canoeists that came down the Egg Harbor River for their big trips, and that they could see that even at night. They have lights in the tower. That would be the spot to come to. That would be the where, if they got lost, they just followed the course of that light down the Egg Harbor River and come here.
High school crew races were also held on Lenape Lake. The most recent competition was on Mother's Day, May 13th, 2007, where our local high schools competed.
Today's event is actually a high school regatta, which I'm currently the president of the Southern New Jersey Scholastic Rowing Association, which is comprised of all 7 Atlantic County high schools that have rowing, plus Ocean City and Vineland. And today is our championships of our organization.
Well, our club actually started rowing out here about 13 years ago. And we used to set up our boats underneath the pavilion there, and then we'd have to take them out in the summer when the park opened up. I've been here for probably since a little girl, different picnics and get-togethers. And then we finally got our own boathouse, but we have the high school regattas here because all the family and friends and grandparents can come here and watch the whole race, where usually they have to go to Philadelphia or Camden or someplace.
And what would Mays Landing be without its historical society?